where I think we fail children because like you said, they have all the book knowledge, right? If I put a multiple choice test in front of you, you can get 100% on that multiple choice test. Now let me put you out in the real world with an actual problem where you don't have any context, you don't have a test to choose between four answers. Can you find the solution? And we're not training them for that. You know, when we look at our standardized tests, those tests don't really say, if I put you in a novel situation, could you figure out a solution? They just say, if I ask you a specific question, can you recall the answer?
And that's why I think we need to have more authentic learning. We need to bring a lot more of that in.
Yeah.
That test in every corner. We do something in grade K. At the end of grade K, you have a test. Okay, fine. Nothing wrong in trying to assess, how much your children have progressed. But then it becomes that competitive thing, and then we find a lot of us teachers, many times we find ourselves teaching to the test because we are going to be judged by how the students perform. And it's not even just within our school, it's within the district, then it's on a national level, right? So we're pushing and we're pushing and we're pushing and make sure the children can regurgitate the facts and all of that. Then they move on to another class and there's that national exam. They move on to another one. We teachers, we're in the class. We want to bring in the authentic learning. We have to understand that it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes resources. It takes planning.
Yeah.
And by the time you're seen as one who spends quite a bit of time on that, sometimes even our administrators do not really see the value in that because they too are under pressure. But if we had the authentic learning where we teach a concept, the children get a chance to really go and do some inquiry. They get a chance to apply whatever it is that they're learning so they can see the link between school and what is out there. You don't see school as one separate entity and then when you go out there it's something else. They could see that, you try to bridge the gap with the authentic learning.
Absolutely.
But we don't have much of that at all.
Yep. No, that's exactly it. Experiential learning is so much more important. Let's figure out, what do you want to do with your life, right? Do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be a mechanic? Do you want to be a teacher? And once we get you up to secondary school, I think there's a certain need for us to teach like the basics, right? There are definitely points in your life where you're going to need to be able to count and add. And so there's a basic knowledge we need. But I feel like when we get to that point of secondary school, our focus really should be more on what are you going to do with your life? Because if you're going to be a mechanic, why don't I just get you into those classes now, get you starting to learn that stuff, get a head start. And when you graduate from secondary school, you're ready to go start working in a shop. You're going to learn a lot more by working in a shop, actually working on a car, than you are in a classroom reading books about how to fix a car.
Exactly. And we see that all the time, Mr. Blaine. We see that from primary school level, we see that. We see some children who are very musically inclined. We see some children who are very creative with the hands and so on, right? We say that they're not really academically bent. They're forced to go through the same system. Now, I'm not saying from that tender age to stream them, no, but we speak about teaching the child.
Yeah.
Yet our assessment practices and the expectations do not really go hand in hand with that.
Yeah.
If we we notice something about a particular child, we try to teach that child. That child will not even be exempted from the standardized test that's going to happen at the end. While you know that the child may not be able to handle it, you know what the child is very good at.
Yeah.
You're trying to get the child to at least experience some success in some area. And we know research has shown that this can help them in other areas. But if the child is just sitting there forced to follow the same curriculum and everything, and then have the test at the end, seen as a failure, move on from one grade, go to another, same thing, what are we really doing for them?